Dead Serpent is a gothgaze band from Santiago, Chile. You may remember them from my Goth Bands from Chile video a few months back. From what I can find, they started at some point around 2016, possibly earlier. I cannot find a lot of information about this band, only that there is a member named Von Warlock, who is in another music project called Warlock. It's a witch house band, though, and you know how I feel about that. Whether this is a one-man band or Von Warlock is just one member, I do not know. Though their influences are eclectically dark, their primary influences are the more electronic-based sides of goth, such as dark wave and cold wave, and of course, shoegaze, which some argue is at least related to goth, if not a full-on subgenre that just happens to be less connected to the subculture as a whole. Today we are going to talk about their June 2018 release, Chaos in Perfection, which as far as I can see is actually their second full album as opposed to just an EP. Like many shoegaze bands, goth or otherwise, Chaos in Perfection is a very relaxing listen for the most part, orally speaking. The one exception is the final song, which is a black gaze edit of the song Thunderstorm off their previous album. It definitely feels stormier in its black gaze form than it did in the more dream pop leaning original. There is an ethereal feel throughout the album with the twangy guitar highlighted by reverb, of course, and airy vocals in the songs with words. Cathedral is the only purely instrumental track, though. Also typical of the genre, the vocals are not particularly clear, but I can say that just going off the titles of the songs and the lyrics I can understand, and you can also find the lyrics on Bandcamp. As well as the sound, the album touches on some pretty dark subject matter. The lyrics evoke themes of lost love, specifically perhaps a dead loved one, feelings of being at a low point in one's life that one would like to get out of. It is a very introspective album in terms of lyrics, and I feel like the abyss-like sounds really emphasize that. I feel like that's why I'm such a fan of the goth-gaze subgenre, because the way that sounds are utilized really highlights these emotions as well. The echoey sound, I'm sure there's a better word than echoey, but bear with me, makes you feel like you're in this big, dark, empty cave all by yourself. It evokes loneliness, being lost, being sad, that you're detached from your physical form. Another common description I hear is that it sounds like it's raining, not literally, but it evokes that feeling, I guess. My personal favorite song on the album is Funeral Days, one of the more twinkly pieces of the album. I also really enjoyed Eclosion because it keeps up the reverb and the twangs, but also adds a really good bass line. I feel like a lot of darkwave and shoegaze-leaning goth bands tend to forgo the strong bass that's so prevalent in other subgenres of goth music in favor of focusing on the twangy guitar and all the pedal effects because you can't reverb a bass. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but it wouldn't sound good. But this song has it. If Spotify is being honest, their most popular song, not just on this album, but in general, is the title track off the album, probably because it's definitely one of the more catchy songs compared to the others, though it's still very dark, melancholy, cold wavy catchiness. The only song on the album I'm not a huge fan of would be that black gaze edit of Thunderstorm, probably because I'm not a fan of black metal in general, even its shoegaze sister. That's not because it's a bad song, though, it's just a personal preference. Now, we no longer feature clips of songs in these videos for fear of invoking the wrath of the copyright gods. However, I do have all the platforms where you can listen to this band linked below, so if you're curious about how they sound, I invite you to click one of those links. If you like here, I also invite you to follow them on one of their social media platforms, which are also linked below. If you want to hear more about goth music from Latin America or get information on Latinx-owned alternative brands, I invite you not only to follow me here, but on my other social media platforms, which are linked below, Dead Serpents. Until next time, bye now.